Hello, YouTube. The highest, 1,640 meters, point of the Southern Urals, Mountain Yamantau, is located on the territory of the Republic of Bashkiria, or Bashkortostan, in the Beloretsky district of the Republic, north of the city of Beloretsk. 10 kilometers west of the foot of the mountain is the closed military city of Mezhgorye, or rather one of its two neighborhoods. But it is famous not for its geographical location or height, but for the mysterious underground structures, which according to rumors began to be built in the USSR. Well, the residents of Bashkiria who lived in the Soviet times, actually, they say that the rumors about a secret doomsday bunker capable of protecting against the nuclear explosion go back to the 1960s and 1970s. In the media, this account was announced in 1996 in the New York Times. American journalists were interested and outraged by the volume of construction underway in the Southern Urals. Personally, I despise and dislike this rag of a newspaper, the bootlicker of Stalinist regime, and the way it denied the starvation in the USSR created by the Soviet regime in the 1930s. And I always question their veracity. Always. This topic resurfaced in the early 2000s. Now the Russian media was talking about Vladimir Putin's frequent visits to the Urals. According to the official account, the president was vacationing at the Abzakovo ski resort. According to the unofficial account, he supervised the construction of a bunker in which the Russian elite could hide in the event of a nuclear war. But on closer examination, it is easy to conclude that the underground structures under Yamantau can hardly be the bunker in which Putin is going to hide. Firstly, the mountain itself is not such a reliable protection against a nuclear explosion. Several standard 100 to 150 kiloton warheads are sure to bring down underground tunnels. Secondly, in the conditions of the outbreak of a nuclear war, when the strikes are sudden, the enemy will hardly provide more than 20 to 30 minutes of time. This is clearly not enough to evacuate to the Southern Urals from Moscow. Moreover, there is no airfield nearby where at least a small plane could land, not to mention the presidential aircraft 96-300, a fine aircraft you can see from the photograph. As for the upgraded Mi-8 helicopter, which Putin sometimes uses, its flight range is limited to 600 kilometers, and this is only halfway to the mountain of Yamantau. Landing without refueling in a nuclear war is unlikely to be possible. And there are no military units left in the vicinity which in the USSR were based in large numbers in the Southern Urals. What is left is not similar to what it used to be in the Soviet times. So who will provide cover? Well, a military facility, but the Yamantau facility may be the part of the perimeter or dead hand system, as it's called in the West. It is this complex that is responsible for the automatic launch of nuclear missiles in the event of the destruction of the enemy's nuclear suitcase and communication lines of the strategic missile forces. Missile silos and satellite communication complexes are apparently located next to the mountain on the territory of a closed reserve, so to say. Indirectly, this hypothesis is confirmed by the presence of the Rosatom instrument-making plant nearby, in the city of Trehgorny, where nuclear ammunition is produced. So Yamantau mountain, located in Bashkiria, has become overgrown with a large number of legends. So allegedly, it hides an entire underground city, a military secret base, a bunker of the Russian government, and a whole repository of minerals and other untold riches. I've heard also, shut down UFOs and recovered alien bodies. Armchair ufologists like to talk about stuff like that. Anyway, others believe that this is a lost place where uranium is stored. The mysticism begins with the name. Translated from the Bashkir language, Yaman means bad or evil, and Tau means mountain. There are several explanations for why the elevation is so characterized. According to the first account, there are many bears in the vicinity of the mountain range, which caused a lot of trouble to the Ural residents and travelers. And it's a sight to see, the Ural bear. It's quite unusual. The second explanation of the name is related to the relief. Allegedly, the slopes with rivers do not allow cattle to graze safely. And the third account says that the mountain became angry because of thick fogs in which you can wander for hours, as well as other harsh weather conditions, the taiga, boreal forest, and swamps. Note that the snow on the top does not disappear until August. This hypothesis is supported by the mention of the mountain in the book from the 18th century. Yamantau, that is a thin or evil mountain on the Nagai road on which snow also always lies. This is how geographer and local historian Rychkov described this point on the map of Russia in his book Topography of Orenburg. But probably the combination of all these factors made this mountain in the Southern Urals evil in the eyes of local residents. Let's look at what they said. Some of the cases. For example, she was a little girl, and as long as she remembers, her parents always told them not to go to this mountain. The mountain was considered to be dangerous. The corpses of animals that wandered there were found many times on the mountain. She remembers with a shudder how their cow wandered there and died. At the same time, no one could understand why. The same thing happened to people. They either died or were lost. And so far, people do not go to this mountain. They are afraid only visiting tourists go. That's this resident of the Beloretsky district shared with Russian media. Some explanation for this can be found in the local historian Yemelyanov's writings. He collected the stories of local residents and found out that the mountain hides the Timashevsky treasure. This treasure was hidden by Timashev's manager, Tsilke Genrikh Augustovich, or as everyone calls him there in the area, the Button. Before beginning of the revolution, Tsilke took all the owner's goods to Yamantau mountain, and when the bloody revolution happened, he himself disappeared. And people began to say that he was in the intermediate world, in the world of ghosts and spirits, and still keeps the keys to Timashevsky's secret cellars. And finally, UFOs. On February 5, 1973, two photographs of a disc-shaped UFO hovering over the tops of trees were taken in the Yamantau River Valley, 10 kilometers from the summit. Just remember, it is impossible to get there without a pass. And even if you have access to its territory, you will not be able to get to the mountain. If you try to get there illegally, there is a risk of being caught by a local gamekeeper or something more serious than him. That's what I wanted to let you know today. And of course, I'll bring you more information about the wonderful, magnificent, and strange Ural Mountains and Russia, and of course, nearby countries and Eurasia. So if you like my research, please support me. You'll find out how to do it in the links you'll find in the description to this video. Please like my videos. Please tell others about my work. Thank you.